The coaching program, you can actually sign up today to start the coaching program. It starts next week. And you'll basically get to follow this project to its completion, and you'll get to see everything. So we'll talk about more than we could cover in just 2 hours here.
And the cost of the class is $5,000. There's only a percentage that you have to put up at the
20%,
beginning.
yeah, and then the remaining is
And the
paid
remaining
out
paid out over
the last, what is it, 4 months, I guess,
yeah, the last 4 months.
of the program. Really the duration of the construction of this project.
Yeah.
Well, the duration of the construction and then the sale of it, because we'll take you through and show you guys the HUDs and everything, show you everything that we actually made at the end of the project.
But $5,000 for a program that's gonna teach you what you need to know. That's a small fraction.
On live project.
Yeah, that's a small fraction.
Question.
Oh, okay. The B2R loan, built to rent loan, you just spoke about like negotiation and everything. So can you negotiate what type of loan you would like to use in that particular loan? As far as like
So we got experience and a relationship with the bank. A brand new person, they probably not gonna let you negotiate. Their terms are gonna be what their terms are. So when you brand new, that's why partnership is so powerful. Because if you partner with somebody who has experience, you can pay off of their thing. And all a bank cares about is if your name is on the HUD. That's how they have proof that you've done a project. So if your name is on the HUD, then you can say, hey, you know, we got this project that we did here.
Yeah. And what people don't know is if you go with a B2R loan as opposed to a construction loan, it's actually 1% cheaper than an actual construction loan where they're charging us on this build. We're getting charged 7.3%. 7.3%. That's really good. If we went, because it's a B2R loan, but if we were going to build to sell these, they would have been in the 8s. The 7.3% is good in this market. There's people who are building with other kind of money, and they're getting charged 13, 14, 15%. So, you know, that's why you got to make sure that you know what you're doing from a financing perspective. Hard money is more expensive.
Wiki Briggs from Baton Rouge.
yes.
Beall,
What do you do in terms of bookkeeping throughout the project to make sure that you still make
spreadsheets.
Yeah, so like I was saying, when we send an invoice out to an investor, that investor has access to our portal where we have the spreadsheet. So if he spent $1,000 on something, he goes in there and he physically adds that $1,000. Whatever we're paying on a monthly basis for the mortgage, we add that to the spreadsheet. So all of the costs is already being recorded. As it's being paid, it's on that Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah, and in the spreadsheet we have what was projected and what is actually spent. So we can track like if there's any overages or anything, or if we missed something, you know, or like impact fees in the city went up this year. So I think the impact fees on this project was like $22,000.
Yeah.
So, you know, that was a bill that we were like, oh, we didn't account for that one. So and now we know, okay, next time we do a project, we can account for these and make sure that our numbers include those things. So it's just, and he said portal, he made it sound fancy. Yeah. It's just a little shared drive.
Yeah, a little shared
in Google Drive.
Google Drive, yeah.
Real quick, Garland, when you talk about the impact fees, right? The city has a certain number that if you don't go past that number, you avoid
Oh,
paying.
you talking about, yeah, so in the city of Houston, they have an exemption if you sell affordable, and they have like I forgot the cap, what it is now, because it goes up every year. That if you sell your units below this number, then you get an exemption on your impact fees. The problem is sometimes their numbers are a little unrealistic. And it's like, it limits you, because what if somebody comes and, let's say their cap is $315, right? But, you know, you end up in a multiple offer situation at $315 and your project now sells for $330. Are you going to say, well, I'm getting a discount in my impact fees if I take it at $330, or do I want to take the extra $15,000? That's your choice. If you take the extra $15,000, you still got to pay the impact fee. And the city won't let you close on the loan until their fees are paid, because they have the power to levy liens and all kinds of other stuff. Well, not just that, they have the final certificate of compliance, and the title company won't let you close without that.
And there's another thing about building in these areas. I can't remember the zoning where if you build in certain areas that hadn't been developed, there's that tax bill where you can defer it for 7 years.
You talking about what Trump put in?
Yeah, what's the name of that again?
Opportunity
zones.
There
Yeah.
we go.
So
See, that's why
opportunity
I'm a man,
zones.
right?
Yep. So a lot of people don't know about opportunity zones.
This is an opportunity zone.
This is an opportunity zone. Sunnyside's an opportunity zone. And what benefits opportunity zone gives you is if you build in the opportunity zone, they're trying to incentivize development in that area. So they let you defer your capital gains taxes for up to 7 years. So you can reinvest in another opportunity zone. So if you don't know those kind of things, you won't buy land in areas where you could potentially save from a tax perspective and push that further out down the line, and then maybe in 7 years you're buying a commercial property, and then you got a surplus that the government has to pay, like surplus and depreciation. So in 7 years you may not even owe anything, because you got a commercial property that you can depreciate by, say $1 million. So then you got $1 million that you can play with, and if you owe $1 million, you owe nothing.
You heard him say owe $1 million though, so he did say defer.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean that it's not existent. Okay, you still gonna pay it.
After 10 years, it's tax free.
After 10 years,
tax free. But still,
if you hold it.
So yeah, I know a lot of us got hit with big tax bills. And so that's why you see a lot of us holding these projects, because we was like, man, now we see why these bigger guys do this stuff, because they're trying to escape taxation, but with depreciation.
Like Camilo Homes, they'll build a community, they sell half of them, they'll hold half of them, and rent the rest of them out, because the taxes.
They're just escaping taxes. That's all they're doing. So, because when you make you make over $100,000 a year, the government coming for you, and they gonna come right there with you looking. They're gonna be like, hey, man, I see you had a good year, man. You made a lot of, congratulations. Here's your tax bill. Then you be like, damn, 30% of what I made.
My name is Aldous Jack. I work for Patent Title. I work with a lot of developers and local builders. My question to you is, what misconceptions do you have when you work with title companies that they're not bringing value to?
So title companies, we've had bad experiences with them. Remember we told y'all about a lot that was stolen.
Yeah.
The title company didn't catch that the deed had been forged.
Yeah.
So we're very, and then we have, like I had a title company that they didn't want to give me the deed restrictions. They were talking about, oh, that's not our job. And I was like, other title companies do it. It is your job. Give me the deed restrictions.
And the county has the documents, but they don't request them. And then
so it's all kinds of different things. We know Patton. Patton's a good title company to work for. It's someone that we would prefer to work with, along with who's the other one we work with? Chicago Title.
We use Capital.
Capital Title, yeah. So there are good ones out there. You just have to find them. You can find them by asking people. And then there are bad ones out there. Stewart Title is on my hit list. I'll burn their place down, okay?
Edit that out the video.
Don't put that in the video.
No, but really what happened on that deal was we bought the land for $30,000, right? $30,000. Those properties are selling for $120,000 now. But we bought it, and there was a guy who was going around forging deeds. So he took the deed, and the deed was recorded in Mississippi. How you gonna get a deed for Texas and it was recorded in Mississippi? So you should have been able to
put two and two
together and know it was forged. But he forged the deed, sold it to us. He got paid the $30,000, but the title company, they're supposed to have title insurance.
Because they're giving us clear title. But it wasn't
convey
clear.
A property to us, it's clear title, but the title wasn't clear. So for the last 4 years, they've been trying to reach out to the heirs and, trying to figure out how to convey the property to us for 4 years, and nothing. We haven't got the property yet. We're out of $30,000, but they haven't conveyed clear title to us, so it's just still up in limbo for 4 years. You can't
So-
do anything with the property.
Find
You don't even
good-
own it.
Yeah, so find good title companies who know what they're doing, who can, you know, especially guys who work with, you know, sometimes we're doing creative deals, like, you know, like we might buy something from a wholesaler, you know, and make the wholesaler a part of the deal and pay them on the back end. So we need a title company who understands how to process that kind of transaction. You know, if you go and talk to your title company about something and they say they never heard of it, just walk away. Find somebody who has heard of it, you know.
And you talking about creative financing. I'm gonna throw this in there. So we bought a property in near Northside, right? That's right across the street from, well, that's close to Cavalcade, right across the street from the Heights. And we remodeled it, right? So gonna sell the property, and the buyers came to me and said, "Hey, man, I can't get conventional financing, but you know, somebody died in our family. We inherited some money, but we can put down a substantial down payment." I said, "Okay, well, I'll play the bank. I'll go to the bank. I'll get the loan. I got the loan, right? And I got the loan for 20 years, but I sold the property to them at 30 years. So that means when this property's paid off in 20 years, that I'm gonna get that passive income for the remaining 10 years. And they couldn't get conventional financing. They still can't get conventional financing. So every year, every month, we're making $500. And then I got, you know, some equity tied up in the deal, but I'm okay with that, because if I'm making $6,000 to $7,000 a year, I mean, that's good. And then at year 10, think about that. You probably make $200,000, $300,000 off of one deal, and that's how banks make their money, off interest.
Hi there, Genesis. Piggybacking on the previous question, how do you protect yourself? For example, on this title that it turned out to be stolen, is there some
Well, the title
company, it was all their fault.
They have title insurance. That's
they
how
do.
you protect yourself.
Yeah, that's what the title insurance is supposed to be for. If they're the only reason they're giving you title insurance because they're telling you we're guaranteeing that we gave you clear title, and if there isn't clear title, then you can file a claim and get your money back. But in a lot of instances, they don't want to give you the money back. They want to deliver you clear title because they don't want to pay out that claim.
Yeah.
Because you got to think about it. The property sold for $30,000. The title company didn't make $30,000. They made like what, $2,500, $33,000, something like that. So now they would have to pay out what, 3 times as much as what they made off of the deal. So they don't want to pay out their money.
Not even 3 times. You talking about 10 times.
Yeah, 10 times. Oh, 10 times. I'm sorry. Yeah, 10 times. I'm over here.
Yeah.
So I mean, we could turn around and sue them, you know, and that'll probably make them. A lawsuit will probably make them pay it out.
Attorney fees.
Yeah.
And all that. I mean, there's no time frame. They're telling you that, hey, our attorneys will litigate the matter on your behalf, and we'll bring it to a resolution, but they still haven't brought it to a resolution. So eventually, you may just have to sue them, and then, you know, get an injunction and spend more money and make them pay you.
Yeah.
You know.
So you said steward titles is what you avoid, but
That was off the record.
I never said that.
That wasn't. Yeah.
It's not on the video. I never said it.
But you said the good title one is like
Chicago and
Chicago and
We dealt with Chicago,
That
Pat.
is good. Yeah.
right here.
Who?
No, yeah, she just had to leave. Yeah, but yeah, Chicago.
Chicago.
Yeah. Any other questions?
D'Angelo Waits from Austin, Texas. Met Andre at a NARAB convention. That's how I know about this. But my question is, how do y'all handle, like, y'all got a couple of properties, what do y'all do with refinancing or anything like that? Do y'all use that towards other investments or what?
Yeah. Well, yeah. On this one, we're gonna sell it. But if we were to refinance, then yeah, we would use that money to do another development and another development and another. It's all about growing that nest egg.
Yeah, so we're not taking money from these things and going off and buying luxury cars and stunting and all that other stuff. We got bigger goals. You know, we want to build neighborhoods. So, these are like seed projects. So you take the money and you invest it in something else. The beautiful thing about refinances is all of the proceeds from a refinance tax free.
Yeah.
So, and you can refinance. There's no limit to how many times you can refinance a property. So if you hold a property for 20 years, you can refinance it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And that's how a lot of these guys that you see that hold like a lot of like those buildings that you see in downtown, right? Those are owned by large investment groups. And usually what they'll do is they'll come every couple of years, refinance and pull a boatload of cash out of those projects to go in and either invest it in something else or take it for whatever purposes they want. So that's kind of the goals that we want to get to, having those larger projects. I think Emilio just did.
And then whenever we have a spreadsheet for that too.
I thought that was
So if we have a build to rent community, we have a spreadsheet that'll show us what the amortization schedules are. It'll run the numbers. It'll tell us what we're going to be paying on a monthly basis. It's going to tell us how much we're going to cash flow. All of those kind of things you want to know before you decide, oh, I'm going to buy this land and I'm going to just build to rent, 10 townhomes. Well, what are the numbers? If it's not cash flowing and you're negative, you need to know before you start something like that.
Can you talk more about, or maybe this is down the line, the program,
Yes, so
is it beginner friendly?
in the coaching,
Yes,
yeah,
it is.
it's beginner friendly. So we're
So remember, we beginners as well.
So we'll meet, twice a month. One live site visit. Everything will be recorded, so if you can't attend, you can always watch the recorded. And then we'll do one Zoom call a month. And basically, we'll cover different topics, so we'll cover the background of the project. We'll go more in depth about the financing. We'll show you guys spreadsheets and all of those things. We'll talk about some of the issues like on our front unit, they actually built our slab wrong. So we'll talk about how we handled that with our contractor or how we dealt with our contractors. You'll see on this project, they're actually moving pretty quickly. And we'll explain to you why and what are some of the things we learned from other projects on how to get our GCs to stick to strict timelines, and why we want to stick to strict timelines because, we looking at interest payments and stuff. The longer the project takes, the lower your profit goes. So let's say your exit is 8 months, right? So 6 months for construction, 2 months sale time, right? And let's say your profit at that point is $75,000 a house. Every month that you go beyond that, so let's say your construction ends up taking 8 months and your sale time goes from 2 months to 3 months, so now you add 11 months, right? So that's 3 extra months. Your profit just dropped from 75,000 probably down to like 50. And it's because you're making interest payments for every month that you're still have the loan and it's not paid off. All right, the bank just doesn't say, oh, you're finished with construction, okay, no more interest payments. No, they say as long as you're holding the property, that interest payment is due every month, and that's why you see us. I get people all the time, why are they building the houses so fast? Because it costs us money on the interest. We gotta get it done as quickly as possible.
But see, the great thing about this B2R loan is the first 2 years is interest only. Interest only. So if it's interest only, you can recoup more in the front end because all you're doing is paying interest. You're not paying any principal. You're paying just interest. So if you got a B2R loan, you can, on this, it might be cash flowing $10,000 a month, right? But if all you're paying with interest is $3,000, that means you cash flowing $7,000 a month. Or if you're only paying $4,000 in interest, you're cash flowing $6,000 a month.
Did we answer your question?
About the program.
About the program.
Yeah, so
You said it starts next week.
next week. Yeah, so the next week it'll be a Zoom call. It'll be an introductory call where we'll basically give everybody, the background on the project. We'll talk more in depth about, how we bought the land. We'll show you guys, like our surveys and our plats. We'll show you the plans.
Investment reports.
Yeah, we'll teach you how to read plans. That's one of the other things too. You want to be able to walk on the site and find something wrong without even having the plans in your hand. But in order to do that, you gotta know how to read plans to begin with. So especially structural plans, they're way more technical and detailed. You'll be like, oh, I can look at a set of structural plans and and see like, okay, yeah, we got this and that going. You know, all of these things affect your costs. Just because you hire someone out there doesn't mean that they're building it according to the plans. Okay, so we've had those issues where, like on our previous project, they came out and tried to brick the whole front when we only had the brick going up 13 feet. And so we, you know, they were like, oh, it's easier to do it this way. And I'm like, yeah, but you're changing the whole design. Like, you're taking it from a more modern, contemporary design to a more traditional, and that's not the look we're going for. So we had to go out there and fix it. But if you're not paying attention, or if you don't know, you know, you walk out there and you just proud to be on the site. You out here with your camera taking videos or something. Look at my dad. And I'm over there looking at your video like they built that wrong. Look at that. That's not right. What are they doing? You know?
They left the brick ledge.
So they left the brick ledge off. And so being able to, we'll walk you guys through that so you can see those things. You know, we'll talk about like all of the stuff that we had to do to design. There's what we're standing on right now, those grates. There's a pipe under here that holds water from a storm. That big white, where is it?
That's a sanitary sewer.
Yeah, that's a sanitary sewer line right there. There's cleanouts right here. The little small ones are the water lines running in the front of the property. There's gas lines running behind the property. So we'll show you the plans that show you where all of that stuff is and how we coordinate all of those things. So we go over all of that because all of this stuff is important in development. You know, maybe when you're doing a smaller house, it's not that much, but we're developing a small community basically. And you're gonna have to, if you're gonna get to that point, you're gonna have to pay attention to all that stuff because it affects you. You know, there's the costs, you know, running the electrical lines. We're like, okay, can we run them off the backside? And city's like, no, because you got your gas lines back there. There's clearances. So as a developer, you don't need to be an expert, but you need to have intimate knowledge of your project. Because if you don't, and somebody else comes out there, it could cost you in the long run. Like Andre, tell me about that one deal where the dude had to come back and fix the overhang.
Oh yeah, that was very expensive. So the plans wasn't read correctly, right? It was on the plans. The framer didn't do it correctly. So each inspection they kept missing it. And it came to the final inspection to get your certificate of compliance. They said, hey, the overhang is going into the neighbor's yard. It's too close. You got to take it off. Right? So that pushed back closing. That pushed back more money. He had to come out of pocket for hard money costs. So understanding the plans of the structure is crucial. And let me say this before we bring in Michael to give us some more information about the class. People who pay attention. Right? Everyone here paid a price to be here. Right? And we all sweating and we are looking intently at the information, right? But also remember this, when I started new construction, my guy who taught me how to build, I told him two things. I said, I'm gonna pay you to build these properties for me, and then I'm gonna pay you to teach me. Say it with me, pay to build, pay to teach. That's what I told him, right? Because I knew that if he's focused on building a product and I didn't pay him to speak to me and pour into me, that I wasn't going to get that same effect. So I knew I had to pay him. And let me tell you, we built those first 2 homes. It took us 7 months. Say 7 months.
7 months.
To build 2 homes at one time. After I learned, I was there every single day as he was teaching me, right? I built the other 2 homes in 3 months and 3 weeks. Say 3 months.
3 months.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
People who pay attention. Right? So, yes, turn your Bibles now. But it's crucial to understand that this mentorship program is going to put you on another level, especially if you're new. I'm telling you right now, there's so many people get in this game and don't know how to do it, and they're just winging it along. And you lose more money just by winging it along instead of having a game plan and a strategy and someone to lean on. Man, it's crucial to have someone, hey, Garland, I'm thinking about buying this land, this lot. What you think? All right, let me look at it. Nah, Dre, it's the corner lot. They're going to take away for the visibility pier. You think you can put 2 homes here? Nah, brother, you don't going to put 1. Don't buy it. So many of our people will bought it because they're like, oh, everybody else is building 2, so I know I can build 2 on it, right?
There's a reason they didn't buy that.
Exactly. So think about it. You guys are here, ladies and gentlemen, are here today because of this information. We're getting ready to walk the property next, but we want to bring up Michael.
Yeah.
Michael.
So wanted to give you guys, I kind of told y'all information about the program. So wanted to give you guys some quick information for how to get involved, like call to action. So if you're interested in joining the program, we're, like I said, on Monday, we're doing another informational session. So that'll be to ask more specific questions you might have about the program. So today you get opportunity to ask about the project. That's your opportunity to say, okay, well, you said it's going to be once a week. Well, what day, what time, or whatever information you need to know. That's what that session will be. So we will text you that information. So if you want to get your phone out, if you're interested in that, you're going to text the word developer to 201-905-8189. And I'll say that again. Text the word developer to 201-905-8189. And it'll send you an automated text. You'll get the information, the Zoom link for the information call on Monday. You'll also get the link to sign up for the program. So you do have to interview for that. So they want to vet you and make sure that you're really somebody's going to, take it seriously. So when you sign up, the team will reach out to you, schedule your interview, make sure you're a right fit for the program, and then you'll move on from there further on in the process. So I want to make sure you guys had access to that information. And then any questions on that? Do I need to say that number again?
Yes.
Okay, so developer to 201-905-8189. And then we're also going to text you guys. Andre has a new construction guide. If you've been to a field trip before, you probably already have got that, but I know we have a lot of new people, so you guys will get access to that guide. That's a $250 value, and so for people who come and take action to these events, we like to give that to people for free. So you guys will also, when you text that number, you'll also get signed up to get that free guide as well, and that has an overview of some of the information they covered today, as well as recommendations on different vendors and stuff that you can use to start your journey. So, yeah.
Yeah, and before we close, before you do your walkthrough, Levon, he wasn't expecting this. He over there in the corner. Come on over here, Levon.
I'm just here listening.
I know you are, but come over here.
You in the camera, bro.
Yeah.
You in the front. You in the
So
front.
Levon is a lender, but also he's a developer and builder as well. And I wanted him to share something real quick from a perspective of a lender to what you look at when funding properties as well.
Well, from a financing perspective, so there's tiers, right? These guys are in perfect position, so they get the best financing that's out there. Number one place is credit unions, regardless of what you're trying to do. If you have income reported on your taxes and you got the down payment, credit union, best credit, best interest rate, hands down. Then you got a next level from there. If you don't have all your income documentation and stuff like that, you might want to look at hard money, to where you have to pay the double-digit interest rates and you got to pay the points and stuff like that, right? But you can still get the job done, you can still get it financed, and then you get something under your belt. And then once you get to their level and you've done enough of them, then you can get better financing down the road, right? And I also have a program that's like a one-time close construction. If you do have income and maybe you don't have as much capital, you can do primary residence, 5% down for like single family, and then you can also do investment products up to 1 to 4 family, and it's like 25% down for investment. So there's options out there. You want to definitely explore all your options based on your specific profile, right? Like what your income is, what your credit level is, and all that. Because the traditional banks, like bigger banks, they make you jump through a lot of hoops. You have to have excellent credit. Credit unions a lot more flexible, and then you can deal with a broker like myself that can, put you into different products, hard money or other stuff. So you definitely want to explore your options there. But typically, I always tell everyone the number one thing you want to do is acquire the lot. So if you can get, whether that's business credit or you can get a partner and lock down the land, you can take the land as down payment for your financing later. So that's the number one thing you want to do, is secure the lot, get that taken care of. Then you can do all your entitlement, meaning your permitting, your plans with your architect, get with your realtor, and then you bring that to the table for financing, and that can be your down payment, or you'll get credit for that essentially. But it's the hardest thing is experience. The number one thing everyone's going to ask you is, how many have you done? If you've done none, it's going to be very hard for you to walk into Chase or credit unions and get it done. So you want to partner with somebody that has experience. Ideally, do a joint venture with them. You guys come together on an LLC. You piggyback off of their experience. You give them part of the the project, and you bring the money, and you guys come together, get one deal done. You're just trying to get something under your belt in order for you to get in the game. Don't worry about all the details about, well, my interest rate is too high or whatever when you're first starting. You want to get it under your belt, get one done, then you can start rolling and do it on your own eventually. And like Garland says, you want to try to hire a builder. I don't know, they're teaching you a lot of information that you're going to learn in their course to where you can go to the next level. But I would recommend hiring a builder if you don't want to manage all the details yourself. But they're gonna teach you guys a lot in the course, because we've come up together, we've bumped our heads, we've lost money and learned the hard way. So definitely take advantage of the mentorship, because it's gonna save you a lot. There's a lot of little details that you miss when you walk into this and you don't know what you don't know. And one of the hardest things, and why I like Garland, is because like when I had my first architect, he wasn't a builder. He didn't really understand the details. So when he was designing, it was costing me more money. And Garland, because he builds, he knows, well, if I do this, it's going to cost you more, right? So that's why you want to work with somebody that's experienced. So definitely just explore your options and tap into the mentorship. That's the quickest way. The cheat code is get mentorship. Don't skip that process.
Thank you, LeVon.
We didn't pay him for that either. Yeah.
LeVon, what's your phone number?
My number?
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to ask, like, you got like 2 or 3 favorite credit unions?
Okay, Houston Federal, Nation Federal, yeah. Whoever you have a relationship with, credit unions are your best friend if you can fit in their boxes. Yeah. So I tell you, my truck out there, I lease it. I lease trucks. I just get a new one every 3 years. The great thing about it is the way the leasing company sets up my leases, they do it with different credit unions. So now I have like relationships with credit unions, and I can go to them and pull that cord and be like, hey, remember me? I had a vehicle with you guys. I made my payments on time every month. Can I get credit for this or capital for this? But credit unions are great, you know, if you have, you know, a good credit profile. If you run it from banks, or if you got stuff on your credit, a lot of credit unions won't take you. But it's also a good way for you to not get into like these jugging incidents that you see, because the banks are a lot less busier. You know, so I like going to my bank because there's never nobody else in there. So I know if somebody's trying to follow me or something. You know, you go in these larger banks, you don't know who in there doing transactions and who in there watching. You know,
So we're about to close off. But for the millions of people who's watching and listening right now, we know that your life would never be the same. That today is that day that you've been waiting on. So now it's up to you. Now it's time for you to change the trajectory of your life. Your kids, your family, your generation is depending on you to make the next move. So today, yes, I'm talking to you, the millions of people who's watching and listening. Thank you for saying yes to next generation. Thank you for saying yes to today is my day. Thank you for saying yes to putting in the work to come out at 8 o'clock in the morning to learn right before the sun hits the back of your neck. And thank you for saying yes to real estate. See you
At the top.
there we go, Chase. All right. Okay, Chase.
I did pay him for that just